Is it considered rude when people watch videos / listen to music / if phone calls on full volume in a public setting? Absolutely it is. We as people all have different opinions on what we like to listen to, whether it be music or movies. It's common decency if you are watching a movie and or listening to music to just simply put earbuds in. It is not a hard thing to do and they are not expensive for a bottom of the barrel pair. We get it, music is great for you, but that doesn't mean everybody else around you needs or wants to hear the same stuff. Pull your fucking earbuds in and listen to your movie or music. Stop being an asshole. Of course it's rude. I shouldn't be forced to passively listen to whatever drivel someone else is consuming. And even if it were stuff I like, I'd still want to have the choice not to listen to it anyway. Headphones have been invented to avoid that very same inconvenience. Why not using them then? Not telling the girls they were being inconsiderate is a sad byproduct of our society, where fair criticism isn't the norm anymore because you do you. And people aren't used or willing to accept their actions may cause reactions. So the girls would have likely told you to fuck off anyway. I work at a gas station in a very busy Detroit neighborhood and my biggest pet peeve are the PPL who come in with their phones on speaker, screaming at whoever is on the other end. They will stand at the counter with a line of PPL behind them and finish their conversation. That or they're blasting music so loud I can't hear them over it and through the bulletproof glass. I've had PPL literally turn around see a line forming behind them and they will still take their time. It's getting worse with the younger generations. I could go on on. The phone thing isn't that bad when you consider 80% of my customers don't know how to count their dollar. The world is turning into a place that scares me. Would you celebrate Mother's Day for an expecting mom? Why or why not? If I have a close relationship with her and know she would appreciate it, then sure. Usually I just celebrate with my mom, as she's the only mom I have a close relationship with. But the whole point of Mother's Day is to show appreciation for the sacrifices mothers make for their children. Personally, I think enduring pregnancy is still a pretty big sacrifice, even before it's born. No, definitely agree with not tempting fate. But this is also why gender reveals and baby showers are stupid. WTF do you do if it doesn't happen? Traumatic plus all those memories? No, thanks. If she wants to feel like a mother, fine. If it was my wife who wanted to, but that's not for anyone else to celebrate. I'll never forget when I was 5 months pregnant on Mother's Day. And my father-in-law tells me, "Happy, wait, you're not a mom yet." And quat. So yeah. Pregnant moms should be celebrated. Depends on the context. I wish I had been by my husband's family. But you know, it's all about his mom and no other moms, including me and my sister-in-law, husband's brother's ex. As long as it's someone I'm close-ish to and they consider themselves a mom and the baby is wanted and all that. Sure. If they want that baby, they're a mother even before they give birth. If they're planning to give it up for adoption, I'd still consider celebrating with them if they wanted that. I'd never force the title of mom on someone for whom it caused only pain. But if they wanted to celebrate the life they were growing, then hell yeah. I'll get you a card and some flowers or a potted plant or something like that. Happy Mother's Day, Mama. And many, many more. When do you feel most connected to the earth and nature? Walking among the trees, listening to birds and smelling the nature. I feel content and at peace. Alternatively, sitting on sand and listening to waves. Smelling salt in the air is so zen. Naked, running in a rainstorm. Skinny dipping under the moon in the warm summer wind. Making love on a sun-dappled hillside above a waterfall. This is God. If you mean sober, that would be going skinny dipping and floating on your back and watching the sky. Otherwise, just being high makes me feel pretty close to nature. In my garden in the summer. With a watering can. Filling up the water trays on the ground that I leave out for the birds and wildlife. I've even seen hedgehogs drinking from them. Walking through woods. Appreciating the sights and sounds. It's far enough away from everything so I'm able to enjoy peace and connect deeply with nature. While hiking. Berry picking. Walking through meadows. Taking walks in forests and looking at the trees around me. Walking along a river or around a lake. Inhaling mountain air. Standing in a creek with my jeans rolled up. Stargazing. Touching salt water. Looking at the sea or ocean. I could go on and on. On a hike with my dog. Just the two of us out in the woods. I can feel all the stress of day-to-day life and worries just sort of melt away. I talk to him about whatever comes to mind and it feels good to share those thoughts with him in the trees. No one else around to cast judgment or anything. Camping in the bush. Bush walks. At the beach with my feet in the sand or in the water. On psychedelics, particularly while in nature. Gardening. Hiking mountains. Currently living in a city and I grew up in a rural coastal area, so it's hard to feel connected to it all here. Non-native English speakers. Do you sometimes find yourself struggling to verbalize something in your native language? Yet you know exactly how to say it in English but don't do it because you don't know whether your interlocutor speaks it or if they would consider it weird? I've studied mech engineering mostly in German while also reading English resources. But almost never in Chinese because I don't stick to my own kind in my spare time. When rare occasions come up where I do end up communicating with Chinese engineers/suppliers in a professional context, I don't know most of the technical terms in Chinese, thus stutter while mistranslating or describing them like a 5-year-old. I'm a native speaker, but I see this happen a lot with our Indian colleagues. They'll speak Gujarati to each other with a whole load of English words thrown in. Also seen it when we went to an Indian restaurant and one of our party was a native speaker of a language we shared. There were some translation problems to do with questions about the menu. So our guy spoke to the waiter in a mix of English and the language they both knew so that everything was understood. Utterly fascinating. Okay, so my first language is English. However, I do a lot of work with people that speak only Spanish. This happens to me a lot. Sometimes I use my hands and we all get a good laugh. Sometimes they use theirs in return and we stand there laughing. But anyways, we use Google Translate. Or Google how to say it in another language. A lot of the times we read better than we speak, so I hand the person my phone to show them what I'm trying to say. Yes. 100%. Sometimes I have to look up English words in the dictionary to find out what they are in my native language lol. In my work environment a mix between our native language, German, and English is totally normal, but whenever I talk to my parents or grandparents I really have to actively try to switch to pure German.